These cars have one thing in common. Along with the power to screech tyres, it's the Nissan SR20 2-litre turbo engine, in various guises of course, and all the work of Brisbane's smart engine conversions.
Smart engine conversions specialise in doing conversions on older cars basically. The SR20 seems to be the most popular engine on the circuit today. To get serious with an SR20 turbo conversion, you'd want to walk through the door with basically $12,000 to $15,000. I mean, because you've got a couple of brake upgrades and suspension as well. You want a car that stops in turns as well as goes hard.
So we headed out to Darlington Park's $75 million complex for an SR20 battle. First off the rank was Dan's Datsun 1600, an eternally popular car and conversion which had the mildest engine tweaks of the day.
S14 SR20 turbo is what we've got in the 1600 behind us. Factory engine management, intercooled with a GDIR intercooler that's been modified to suit the application. 204 horsepower at the wheels at about 12 pounds a boost. The engine's an Australian engine, Japanese computer, Australian airflow meter, and we just couldn't get a hold of an igniter, so I thought, well, we'll try a C18 turbo and see what happens, and works a treat.
Oh, the car's wicked, it kicks ass and does good burnouts, so that's all I want. So yeah, it's sweet as. No, I love it. Yeah, as long as it smokes a bit of rubber, that's all I need.
The red theme carries through to the interior, with red steering wheel, retrimmed doors and seats, and a few extra gauges. But it's not to be confused with number 2, Darren's orange Datsun 180B.
180B, SR20 turbo, 5-speed, S13, this one, as opposed to the variable valve timing in the 1600. EMS computer, factory turbo, all in-store work actually done by Darren himself. We've just helped him out on occasions as required.
I wanted this particular car because 1600s are getting rather popular. There's a lot of people with SRs and 1600s now, so something a little bit different. Just under 200 horsepower. I'm wrapped in it, yeah.
So we sent them out for the first of a best-of-3 elimination.
Yeah, hooked up usually because it's only got an open centre, so usually it doesn't hook up. But and I know that I think he's got a locker anyway, and I thought he was just going to drill me off the line.
Yeah. Maybe not quite give it so much, back off a little bit maybe, yeah.
Dan's 1600 gets a good jump, but Darren loses all his time through wheel spin. Although more even this time, Dan still gets away and extends his lead in each gear. Contestant number 3 is Michael's slightly unconventional LT 2000 Toyota Celica with bogged side vent panels.
S13 Sylvia, SR20 turbo on 5-speed, factory computer, factory airflow meter, factory turbo, custom frontman intercooler. This is the first car actually that we've run a fuel cut Defender on, turbo smart version. Volvo rear end in this as well because Toyotas are just rubbish.
Single cam, piece of shit.
It's much improved now and took off very well. Although dead even off the line, Dan gave us our first official choke of the day.
Oh, somebody moved third about and I couldn't find it.
And where do you think third was? The back seat somewhere?
Probably is now.
Better this time, and the Celica eases away comfortably for a round win. Still, Dan didn't seem too upset. Darryl's Holden Tirana GTR XU1 is easily our most peculiar transplant, but still a great idea.
SR20 turbo, it's actually an RS version, which is a high output motor from the 180SX. Factory engine management, factory turbo, huge intercooler, good exhaust, Volvo rear end, brake upgrade, and that is something really different.
Horsepower?
247 at the wheels, 14 pounds.
Why a Tirana?
Oh, just such a difference, the surprise package. Haven't ever seen it done before, and yeah, just the looks you get.
But a Japanese engine in an Aussie icon?
Oh yeah, but in the end of the day, it puts out more horsepower than a Bathurst XU1, so it's doing better.
After another even start, the Tirana suffers some wheel spin. The Celica has a bit more speed in gears than our Ali G lookalike in the Tirana.
How'd you go?
Oh yeah, bit average, first time out. Get second right, but she might be a bit better. Seemed to drop a bit in second. I don't know, it just wasn't quite right.
Needing a win, Daryl's Tirana bogs, then gets too much wheel spin. And from there, Michael's Celica just drives away to go through to the next round. Daryl's burnout shows his open diff hampers more than just acceleration. Before Corollas went front drive, Toyota produced this model, and owner Les has himself a very neat, powerful little car.
S13, SR20 turbo, 5-speed, factory computer, custom intercooler, factory turbo, 3-inch stump pipe, the usual mods that we do, and 256 at the wheels actually, with that's only running 12 pounds, or just under 12 pounds a boost. Volvo rear end, and with the 5-link that Toyota's got, obviously gets the power down really nicely.
Excellent. It's a good combination. Works real well.
A surprisingly tasteful interior with tan leather, a classical contrast to the deep green paint, combines with a custom autometer dash and plenty of neat touches. And while it jumped ahead of Michael's Celica off the line, Les had a few problems.
Go to slip and clutch.
Yeah, I got slipping wheels. Not much I can do.
So one race down, and every cliche covered, it was make or break time for Les. A cleaner start, and he holds it all the way to even up the score.
Won that one. What happened to the slipping clutch?
I don't know. Started low boost, just fed it to it. Just hit it on high then.
Sudden death now. Michael gets the jump. But Les makes it back in second gear. Even all the way, and Les just takes the win.
Too easy.
Contestant number 6, Nathan's white 1600, should have enough power.
99 model S14, variable cam timing, standard turbo, custom frontman intercooler, with Autronic SMC engine management on it. Big brakes, big diff. 247, 249 at the wheels, I think, at 14 pounds.
The interior's built for speed, with a lightweight driver's seat, Momo steering wheel, basic instrumentation, and the removal of anything that could weigh him down. So, we put him up against Les's leading Corolla. But too many revs and wheel spin drops Nathan back. And it's an easy win for Les.
What happened to you? All that power? You couldn't put it down.
Practicing.
A slightly better start this time, but Nathan grabs 5th instead of 3rd gear, prompting a rerun.
Oh, I slipped into overdrive and I just upped up. Human error. I'm only human. Oh, well, I've had some advice, so hopefully.
It's a cleaner start with less revs. But Les jumps ahead and takes the round. Nathan finishes off with a burnout, but listen to the engine note and you'll hear some problems. The spark plugs are pulled to reveal some interesting results. 2 of the tips almost entirely melted away. Next is Steve's immaculate Datsun 1600. Detailed throughout, it runs 2-stage switchable boost from its late model SR20.
S14, variable cam timing, SR20 turbo, 5-speed, factory engine management, factory turbo. This has probably got the most expensive intercooler radiator setup, full custom wraparound ARE job. Everything else is factory, producing about 278 horsepower at the wheels.
So that huge invoice you gave him for it was worthwhile?
Wasn't big enough.
It's awesome, it's very reliable, the power is always there. Just flick the switch and you've got an extra 100 horsepower basically. It's a daily driver and I get to bring it out track days like this and have some fun.
mean, the car is a bit fat too. I mean, it's got central locking, and I mean, Steve's car probably wouldn't be much lighter than our Bluebird, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which is pretty heavy for a 1600.
It may have 20 horsepower less, but the lighter Corolla gets its power down better and holds it all the way.
Well, I got too much boost anyway going off the line, so I'm going to try a bit lower setting and go again. Yeah.
A bit more potential yet?
Hell yeah, a lot more. Yeah.
Alright.
Still putting its power down extremely well, Les's Corolla jumps ahead of the better starting 1600, then drops away big time.
Much better. Low boost off the line, second gear, flick it over to 12 psi, hit third and fourth and pull away. But I think he had a problem anyway. I think he pulled up.
Clutch. Yeah. Big time clutch then. Big time slip. Do you think it's a heat related thing? Yeah. Okay.
So Les let it cool down. It obviously worked. Les jumping off the line nicely and progressing into the 3-car semi-final, proving the benefit of a good power to weight ratio. As a company demo, you'd expect Brian's own Bluebird to be quick. It is.
For starters, it's a GTIR engine. We've turned that to a rear-wheel drive configuration, fabricated a gearbox to suit. It's basically a stock internal, well, it's a stock engine, done 48,000 kilometres, bolted a turbo up to it, basically a 425 horsepower turbo, and it's making all of that. Put an Autronic on it and a standard VR4 RS intercooler on it. We figured we'd build a car that has all the aspects of what we do in the business in one vehicle. Suspension, brakes, engine, just everything, and put it all in one and have it as a daily driver and something we could race as well.
What have you done that you don't dare do to the other cars?
Not charge money.
We're going to beat the guy in the red car, so here we go.
I've got something to prove, haven't I?
So is it quick enough to beat the Corolla and 1600? Typically, Les's Corolla jumps to the lead. Brian's Bluebird takes care of Steve's 1600 by second gear and hunts down the Corolla, taking the win.
Better than I thought. I was at front at the end, and that's enough, isn't it?
Brian came across to the right, and rather than try and force an issue, I sort of backed off rather than getting into a situation.
He said you were trying to squeeze him out.
You got to do that in competition.
A rerun gives exactly the same result. Les's Corolla great off the line, but Brian's Bluebird just too good. To celebrate, Brian pretends he's driving a customer's car. But Brian was just warming up for the main event, a 7-car heads-up drag race to truly prove who is the fastest of the SR20s. With only Nathan's 1600 missing due to its plug problems, everyone was set. A fairly even start, and Michael Salika gets a good jump with Brian's Bluebird. Dan's red 1600 is up there too, but it's Bluebird ahead of the Salika and 1600. Dan's 1600 and Les's Corolla proved the surprise of the final, but most impressive is that the entire field is spread over less than a second. The best times? Brian's Bluebird was quickest with an ET of 13.6 at 105 miles per hour. The Tirana slowest with a 14.5 at 96 miles per hour. Still a good result. So, Brian suggested racing another customer's car.
Well, something else out of the stable. We a 260Z that we swung an RB26 DETT into that happened to have a pair of HKS 650 horsepower turbos and associated components, an Autronic on top of that.
You getting a bit scared?
Nah, it's the driver you got to worry about, and he's not real good.
Brian's car's a very fast car. It's making around about 310 at the wheels on our dyno, so this is making about 410 at the rear wheels. I'm running 15 pound. It'll give him a runner, it'll be honest. There won't be a great deal in it, it'll come down to driver capability. and I'm a bit nervous, so that's going to be real good, isn't it?
An even start, but the Bluebird's taller first gear puts it ahead. The Bluebird takes the win, though the action isn't over yet.
The throttle jammed wide open when I went for second gear, and I thought it had come back when I lifted for third, but it didn't. Jammed wide open, pulled fourth gear. We're doing over 200 up here. And I slowed it down to about 150 and pulled the handbrake on. Got a bit of a shock, but we'll go back and fix it.
Those handbrake turns Steve's been practicing outside the police station sure came in handy. So, on its debut outing, John's 260Z was towed home. It was a sad goodbye.